Welcome back to SCS Basedball. Uh, if you were hanging on our word for our postseason predictions in the last episode, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Uh,
that was that was crazy.
the Wildcard division lived up to its name,
Yeah. It was
and
wild.
to sum things up, out of all the predictions we made, uh, precisely two of them were correct. One of mine and one of Snoot's.
Yeah. Cam did not get any correct, and that's why he's not here.
Actually, Cam's not here because if I recall right, he said something about having, like, a throat cold. In any case,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
wish him the best in the
Wish
comments.
him the best for the cold and for the elimination.
Oh, yeah. If nothing else, the Mets are the only team, the only team this postseason on the wild card series to lose and not get swept.
Yeah. That one took 3 games. Another Mets fact, they're the first team to have 100 wins and lose in the wild card.
In like, what kind of scale here are we talking? The first team in baseball to do that?
First team in baseball to do that.
Man, that I guess a lot of history is being made this year, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Going
Uh
over speaking of history, let's go over the postseason bracket and what has changed since we went over our predictions.
yeah.
Uh, so top left end of the bracket, you had the Rays versus the Guardians.
Yeah.
Uh, I didn't get the pleasure of seeing that game. Snoot did.
Mhm. I listened
Uh,
to the first one and then watched the second one. I was at work during both times cuz it was like, "Hey, what if we start at noon?" And I'm like, "Okay, go fuck yourselves."
yeah. Speaking of doing in about 2 hours. So basically, by the time that you've watched this thing,
yeah.
the division series will of each well, the
Yeah.
division series will have already started.
Yeah. Or something like that. I don't know. But
So about the Rays and the Guardians, remember something about the second game taking 15 entire innings?
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. First game though. Uh actually, I don't remember much of the first game. Uh first
Let me
game,
look it
it
up.
was okay. I'm recalling it now. First game was a pitching duel between Shane McClanahan of the Rays and Shane Bieber of the Guardians. And it was basically what you would expect from a from a wild card series, from a playoff series. Great pitching, you know, each defense not giving each other an inch. Then uh one of the Rays gets a home run. I forget who it was. They get a home run at the top in the top of the 6th inning. It is now uh it's now 1-0 Rays. Then, bottom of the 6th, Guardians have a base runner at first. They have a base runner. I don't remember which base they were on, but they had a base runner. I think it was Ahmed Rosario. Jose Ramirez comes on the plate. Jose Ramirez, obviously their best hitter, and
In the
in
Guardians?
on the Guardians,
Yeah.
and he shows you why. He hits a bomb right over right center field. Guardians take the lead 2-1. Shane Bieber pitches another 2/3 of an inning. Then they bring in Emmanuel Clase, and Emmanuel Clase has to be one of, if not the best closers in baseball. So,
Say the pitcher on the Rays was called.
the starting pitcher that day was Shane McClanahan.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't hard of hearing, because as far as I had heard, the pitchers on both teams were named Shane.
Yeah. It was Shane versus Shane.
Swear, you're seeing a lot of Shanes nowadays, just in general.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are getting born and their parents are like, yeah, let's call this one Shane.
Yeah. So Emmanuel Clase comes in. Rays don't get another chance to score any points. Guardians win 2-1. Second game happens. This one is between Tyler Glasnow and Tristan McKenzie. Tyler Glasnow, I wish we didn't get rid of him. I wish we didn't put him, Austin Meadows, and Shane Baz in that deal for Chris fucking Archer. That trade will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Who's Chris Archer?
Exactly.
Fair enough, fair enough. Now, one thing I remember, because while I didn't see this game, I did see the Blue Jays and Mariners game, and the the Mariners in that game. Wait, no, sorry, the Blue Jays that time. The Blue Jays scored a point in the second round of the AL Wildcard before the Guardians did.
Before the Guardians or the Rays. So, the second game happens. It's between Tyler Glasnow, Tristan McKenzie, sorry. Not a single team is giving an inch, right? Not a lot of scoring opportunities for either team. The pitching is pitching lights out. You know, just all this. It got to the point where the Blue Jays were the first team that day playing playoff baseball to score a run.
And I want to drive home for the viewers who don't watch a lot of baseball yet that the Guardians versus Rays game started at 1 p.m.
It started at like
The
noon.
Blue Jays versus Mariners game started at 4, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it took literal hours for the Guardians to score that 1 point.
Yeah. It was by Oscar Gonzalez. Okay, so the best part about this game, right? It's the middle of the 15th. Like, it's about to be the bottom of the 15th, right?
From some past 9.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a long game if it goes to the 12th.
Yeah.
This one is special.
Yeah. Longest game in postseason history without a run scored. Where it's like nothing. Longest. Bottom of the 15th.
Like I was saying earlier, baseball history this year.
Bottom of the 15th. I gotta pick the biggest piss ever. I'm like, man, I gotta go so bad. I unplug my phone, take it with me. I do my business. As soon as I finish doing my business, Oscar Gonzalez hits a fucking bomb into like left field, in the left field bleachers. Home run. Guardians win.
And it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
The game ends.
I can only imagine that, like, everybody, no matter what's, like, well, the Guardians are probably definitely happy,
Yeah.
they got the win. I also imagine they were sighing with relief that they got to go home that night.
Yeah. Everyone was
Speaking of sighing with relief, with how much of a fight the Rays put up, I think the pressure is really on for the Guardians in their upcoming division series bout against the Yankees.
yeah. One thing I will say, one final thing about that wild card game, Cleveland, you're welcome. If
So on the bottom left, yeah, we got the Mariners and the Blue Jays.
oh
And in the first
oh
game, the
boy.
Mariners got a win, and it was a pretty decisive win, 4-0.
Oh
Uh,
buddy, but that second game.
God, yeah. In fact, the first game was a tragedy for the Blue Jays, because game one, the Mariners scored the first 3 points in the first inning.
Yeah.
So the second game is a very different story. Uh, First inning, nothing. Second inning, Blue Jays get 2 runs. Third inning, Blue Jays get a run. Fourth inning, Blue Jays get a run. It's looking bad for the Mariners. Way
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
Fifth inning, the Mariners score 1 point. The
Yep.
Blue Jays, so it's 1-4 now. And then the Blue Jays score 4 more points. So
8-1. Eight
eight
to
to one.
one at this point, right? And I'm watching
Sixth
this. I'm
inning,
like, okay, this isn't interesting anymore. I'll keep it on since it's the only other game on right now, but this is pretty much over with. I'm just going to go to work.
like it very much seemed certain that this was a bracket that was going to game three, but it
Mhm.
wasn't.
No.
Sixth inning, the
No.
Mariners score 4 runs after
Yeah.
having the the first half of the game was probably like the worst experience of their lives. But the sixth inning, they get 4 runs,
mhm.
and then fast forward to the eighth inning, they get another four.
Yep.
So
Yep.
now they're even. After the Blue Jays got a single point in the seventh.
Mhm.
So at the seventh inning, they were, I want to say,
They were
eight
not
eight,
they were I think they were 8-8, yeah.
9.
9-9. Okay.
At the top of the seventh, they were. Wait, no. Top of the seventh, they were 8-8.
Okay.
Bottom of the seventh, they were 8-9. Then the Mariners. Wait, no, I think I got math on this wrong. In any case, the Mariners, after spending God knows how long in that game,
Behind
uh,
the Blue Jays.
behind the Blue Jays by miles, they not only closed the gap, but they surpassed the Blue Jays.
Mhm.
So the Mariners, after their like historically long playoff drought, are not only in the playoffs, but they swept the Blue Jays.
Yep. I was
So
listen, all right? That second game, right? People are like they're giving they're going ham. Absolutely ham on the Blue Jays. And it's for a good reason. You were up 8-1. 8-1. You had a touchdown, like 7-point lead against the Mariners.
yeah,
All right?
and then
And then
Mariners. Then it
you
goes up.
give up a
Then it
home
goes
you
up
give up a
5-8.
fly. Okay, you give up a home run. Okay. You get another run. Okay, good. All right? Give up 4 more runs. One of them, two of your players fucking collide into each other, and both of them look like they're gonna be hurt for the year. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? What is this game? What am I watching right now? This is crack. This is even more crack than the Guardians game. They didn't score a point in that one. And then to see it end, the Mariners coming back, winning the game. On one hand, you're like, you know what? I feel so good for the Mariners right now. They deserve their win. They kept fighting. And then on the other hand, you're like, holy fucking shit. The Blue Jays choked. And they choked bad. And Twitter
Yeah.
let them know that they choked bad. It was bad.
Seen the Blue Jays choke that hard since their series against the Yankees last month.
It was bad. And the
That,
funniest part was like sometime before this game, Vladdy Jr., the Blue Jays' is like star player, was like, this postseason is gonna be like a movie for us Blue Jays fans, or whatever the quote was. And I saw that after the game happened, and I'm like, oh, it was a movie, all right.
yeah, they didn't know they were getting the Titanic.
You thought you were getting Major League with your Charlie Sheens and your nah, you got fucking cats.
Damn. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I should be offended or not as a Canadian. In any case, that was one of the ones that we got wrong. Because I'm pretty sure all of us in the podcast thought the Blue Jays were going to win that one.
Yeah, we did.
And it seemed fairly apparent that that thought held water with how much of a lead the Blue Jays had
Yeah.
up until the eighth inning.
I still can't believe it. I was watching it too. I was like, okay, it's over. I'm gonna, work this wedding, whatever. And they come back.
Not over till it's over. That's one thing the postseason has absolutely taught us. It is not over till it's over.
It's not over.
Speaking of,
Same.
so going ahead, the Mariners have a match today against the Astros.
As of recording this, today they have a match against the Astros, and while I would like to say that this is gonna go to the Astros very easily, I don't think it's gonna go to the Astros easily.
The Mariners have an insane amount of momentum. If anything, it'll at least be a long series.
I think 5 games is that series.
Easily, yeah.
Easily.
Time for the right side of the bracket, where some of the more tragic events occurred.
Yeah.
So, as you know, I'm a fan of the Cardinals, and there was a unanimous decision amongst the podcast last episode that the team with the most motivation and momentum, and overall player skill to reach the World Series was the St. Louis Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
No.
No. The Cardinals got swept by the Phillies. It wasn't a fight.
So the first game of this series,
and that's...
right? First game. Jose Quintana, who you guys got from us, you're welcome, by the way, pitched a gem. He was gorgeous. He was absolutely fantastic. Not giving up
the first
anything.
things seemed to be as advertised.
Yeah, like nothing was going the Phillies' way, all right? And then the Cardinals, scored a couple runs, it looked as though, the Cardinals were going to win this game pretty easily.
Looked like a pretty open and shut game up until the top of the ninth.
The top of the ninth happens, and for some reason, the Cardinals pitchers, their bullpen, regresses aggressively. And it's like they cannot get an out. Bases are loaded. They walk in a run. They walk in another run. Sacrifice fly or something. Hit, All of a sudden, it's now 6-2, I think.
Yeah, it was 6-2. And the Cardinals at the bottom of the ninth could only score another point.
Yep.
So,
Cardinals get a run. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they'll come back. No,
uh,
no. Phillies win the
so
first game, so I'm like, okay, the Phillies just got lucky in the in the top of the ninth. Surely the Cardinals can, take the series momentum back and get game two, get a game two
to be
win.
honest, to be
Uh,
honest, it seems like the Cardinals just don't have a very good bullpen.
no. But I thought after that game, I was like, okay, the Phillies just got lucky that half inning. Surely the Cardinals can, take momentum back and win game two. No,
Yeah, at least they'll go into a game three, right?
no,
Right?
no, it
And
did
that
not.
is not what happened.
That is not at all what happened.
The Phillies got 2 home runs over the course of a 9 game inning, and
That was
mm,
that was it.
that was it.
That was it. Nothing else.
It was. We talked a lot about the motivation regarding the Cardinals and how was it Molina and Pujols are both
Molina,
retiring this year.
Molina and Pujols are both retiring. Wainwright might as well just retire.
This year, and yeah, it's a heartbreak for Cardinals fans, and it must be a heartbreak for the team too, because that's their last year is losing to the Phillies, a team that only made the playoffs because the Brewers didn't.
Yeah.
But I've been doing some thinking since Snoot knows and can attest I was especially distraught about this.
Yeah.
And I've been doing some thinking. The Phillies are going up against the Braves in an hour as of recording.
Yep.
And you know what? I hope the Phillies win.
Oh,
I
really?
hope if the Phillies if the Phillies can take my dreams, crumple them up and stomp on them with such ease, then I hope they shake things up this year. I hope they do something with that,
Yeah.
rather than getting eliminated by the Braves and making the Cardinals' job for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my perspective is I want to see the Phillies make something of that.
Okay.
I thought I had a least favorite team, but somehow I'm actually rooting for them here.
Yeah. Something as okay, so we watched the Mets and Padres game first. Mets win, they go to game 3. Sure. Then we go over to Cardinals and Phillies. Phillies pull it off. Scoom, minutes after that game ends, says to me, like deadpan, not even joking, not even in like a joking manner, just like, I think I have a new least favorite team other than the Braves.
I was yeah, and I was serious, but I had some time to reflect.
Yeah, yeah,
On to the Mets and Padres.
yeah. On
So the
to
Mets and Padres,
mm-hmm.
like I mentioned earlier, this was the first series in the wild card and the only one to date that did not end in 2 games
Yeah, it went to a game 3.
because so the Padres won 7-1 on the first game,
Mm-hmm.
which was about as expected. All of us had our money on the Padres except Snoot.
No, Cam went for Mets too.
Oh, oh no, yeah, I was in the minority there. Then, uh, in any case, so I things were ending about the way I expected it. Uh, because have the Mets don't really play the Padres and the Dodgers that often. They're in a completely separate division on the other side of the continent.
Yeah.
There's like 3 hours between games that go on in Los Angeles and games that go on in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, So the second game happens though, and the Mets surprise all of us.
Not really.
Okay,
I
maybe
ex- I I kind of, on one hand, I was like, I was expecting either thing to happen. Either the Padres were gonna finish it out, or the Mets were gonna force it to a game three.
maybe so, but I personally wasn't expecting the Mets to slam out 4 runs at the bottom of the seventh. And the Padres got a single run at the top of the ninth, but it only could put them up to 3-7. So they didn't even do a bottom of the ninth because the Mets were already winning that hard.
Yeah, yeah. So game one goes to the Padres. Game two goes to the Mets. Both of these games were like high scoring. Both teams won it pretty handily. So for game three, it was Joe Musgrove versus Chris Bassett. And so I thought, in my head, as the entire day I'm waiting for this game to happen, I'm watching, football, kind of shitty football too, because I only got fucking Bills and Steelers or Buccaneers and Falcons. And both of those games were like, I already know who's gonna win, so why should I even watch them?
To the credit of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Huh?
To the credit of it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they're a team named after pirates that's actually near the fucking ocean.
Listen.
Where do you have your pirates in Pittsburgh? The river?
They have three of them.
The rivers? Okay, fucking you got like people setting sail down the Grand Line to get the fucking baseball that O'Neal Cruz landed in there.
Dude, I fucking love O'Neal Cruz. He's gonna be so fucking good.
That Pirates and Mets series is really something. The One Piece really was real.
The One Piece was real.
In any case, yeah, game three, the Padres were the only team that scored,
Yeah.
and they
It
just
was low
got like a
scoring,
bunch.
right? It was low.
It was low scoring. They ended with 6 points, which is a fair amount, but
Oh,
every
okay.
inning they just scored a little bit.
Okay, well then,
So
yeah.
they just
I
played
was,
they just played kind of good for the entire game.
yeah. I
The
was
Mets couldn't keep
so
up.
so my thought the entire day waiting for that game to happen was, these first two games were decided pretty handily. I don't think this one's going to be decided pretty handily either. I think this game is going to be like, low scoring, both pitchers are going to be, you know, throwing their best stuff, trying to get each team out, and whatnot. Uh the Padres did do that. The Mets, I mean, kinda. They kinda did that.
Trying to talk up the defense of the Padres, and I think it really shows in low-scoring games like this one.
Yeah, yeah. I think if the uh, if the Padres want to go far this postseason, they need, first off, their defense needs to stay as good at it as it's been, because it's been really fucking good.
Yeah, they definitely need to keep this momentum, especially if they want to beat the Dodgers and whoever makes the World Series.
Yeah. So it's like, and another thing too, their bats need to be going. Like, they need their bats to be going. Cause like, okay, their bats were extremely good against the Mets, but it's the Mets. Nothing against the Mets. They won 100 games, but
Like the Mets are a good team, but they're not a great team. There's a lot of things holding them back from being a great team.
yeah,
And the Padres are up against the Dodgers next, and the Dodgers are a great team.
yeah.
Now,
Like,
don't take this as a compliment. I hate the
The
Dodgers,
Dodgers
but
are the most boring fucking team in baseball.
it's hard to deny that they have good players
Yeah,
and that they're a scary thing. They're a scary team to go up against.
yeah,
The
very,
entire it's the entire reason I wanted the 2 seed for the Mets in the first place.
yeah. Because it's like the two
At least
seed.
the Mets would have had some familiar opponents in the 2 seed.
Yeah. You know, they either would have had the Cardinals or I guess the Phillies in this instance.
Yeah. I think the Braves might have been able to put up more of a fight against the Padres than the Mets did,
Yeah.
but who's to say?
I think the Braves might have won that series against the Padres.
Yeah, and I think if there's actually never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that oh my bad.
No, it's fine. Uh but yeah. Now that we've kind of gone over these wild card games that happened, let's go over these like division games that are about to happen. Uh
About to happen in, like I said earlier, an hour since, well, an hour as of recording.
as of recording, by the time this comes out, the first game will probably be done, but who knows?
Who knows? Maybe the Guardians will take another century to get to score a point.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they're not. They're not up first. It's
Yeah.
actually the Phillies and the Braves.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be over because those games went fast.
Let's talk about that game first. Phillies and Braves.
Phillies and Braves.
Phillies, shock the world. They shocked St. Louis,
Shocked my
eliminate
soul.
shocked everybody. Uh, you know, and now they're up against a Braves team who have had they've had about a week rest. You know,
And they've gotten to watch everybody else play, and
yeah,
they've gotten to prepare for
yeah,
the Phillies, their play style.
yeah. Not that the Braves aren't already familiar with the Phillies' play style, but and that you know, so it's Braves and Phillies, an NL East matchup in the division series. The way I see it, I think that week-long rest that the Braves had will show in this first game, because I don't think the Braves are going to do so well in this first game. I could be wrong. Uh
Hmm.
as far as our predictions for the postseason goes, I could very much be wrong.
Very true. Postseason has been very unpredictable so far, and
But I
the
think
Phillies are definitely the most unpredictable team in the bracket.
the Braves are going to have a little bit of rust that first game. They might not do so hot against the Phillies, and the Phillies might take advantage of that weekend set that they had against the Cardinals. Use that momentum that they have. They're flying high right now. They're flying. They're just flying on the seat of their pants, basically.
Yeah,
So
the
they're
Phillies games against the Cardinals are basically just a warm up for them.
yeah. So now, you know, this is either gonna be uh their toughest challenge yet, or one of. Depends on what happens with Padres and Dodgers, which we will get to in a bit. But I think that first game, Braves are gonna show a little rust. Phillies are gonna take advantage of that. Phillies will take game one. Again, I could be very much wrong about that. However, game 2, which I think will be Wednesday, uh,
I think the Braves will wake up at that point.
yeah, the Braves will be like, okay, time to stop fucking around. We're gonna beat the shit out of the 6 seed team. And, the Braves will take the other game. So now game 2 and 3, game 3 and 4 happen. Those are going to be in Philly. So the first 2 games are going to be in Atlanta, and game 3 and 4 are going to be in Philly. Game 4,
Yeah.
if a game 4 will be necessary, which in this instance it will. I think
Sorry.
I think the Braves will take.
The Phillies are getting game. You think the Phillies are getting game 3?
No, actually, I think the
Wait,
Braves are.
sorry,
I think the Braves are getting game 3.
I think I lost track here.
Okay, so Phillies take game 1. Braves wake up, take game 2 and 3. Phillies, use home field advantage to their advantage, take game 4, game 5 in Atlanta.
Right.
And
DS games are best of 5.
yeah, game 5 in Atlanta. Braves punch it.
So
And they go to
at
the
the end of the day, you think the Braves are going to be the ones to advance?
yes. But it will be an intriguing series. It will be an intriguing series. But yeah, the Braves.
I want the Phillies to win, but logically, I agree that the Braves are probably the team that's going to advance.
Yeah.
The Braves are just kind of flat out the better team. The
Yeah.
Cardinals are the best team in NL Central, but that doesn't mean a lot. Well, the Braves are a high-end NL East team.
Yeah. Which in this instance means a lot because, you know, you had the Mets and the Phillies also both making the playoffs. So, so yeah. But yeah, Braves will take that one, I think. It'll be a little bit more of a challenge than some people think it will be. But
Yeah.
I still think they'll get it done. Uh that leads us to our next game, which
In the NL Division Series or AL Division Series? Because I don't think we went over the AL Division Series that much.
we have not yet. Uh I'm
So
basic
how about the
I'm going
sorry for
by TV schedule for what games are on today.
oh let me my bad.
Nah,
So then
it's
next
totally
would
fine.
be Seattle and Houston.
Seattle and Houston is the next one.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
all
I
right.
think we've talked about it a bit. You
Yeah.
said that you don't think it'll go that well for the Astros, despite their pretty incredible track record this season.
Yeah. So the Astros, everybody they're like the Dodgers of the American League. Everybody expects them to win. Everybody expects them to, make it to the ALCS, to make it to the World Series, blah 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 blue. I think the Mariners might actually be able to pull off a win here.
I'm also inclined to agree there.
I
The
think
Mariners have a lot of momentum,
they have, yeah, Jesus, the momentum is like sky high
and
right now.
the more progress they make into the postseason, the more baseball history they're making because of the playoff drought thing I mentioned.
Yeah,
So the further they get, the more glory they're getting out of this. So I feel like they're going to be especially motivated to go as far as they possibly can.
yeah. And
The Astros, this is Tuesday for them, and the Astros tend to forget what they're doing against small teams.
yeah, like I said last episode, it's something about these small market teams that just get to the Astros. You know,
Yeah.
first you had,
So there's not a team that's smaller market right now than the Mariners.
yeah, probably. You had the Nationals beating them in the World Series, okay? Then you had the Rays beating them in the ALCS in 2020. But, we'll just put an asterisk on that year since, COVID year. Then you had the Braves, who I would kind of consider a small market team
Compared to the Astros, definitely.
compared to the Astros, beat them. So yeah, I think this series is going to be a bit of a challenge to the Astros. And I actually am inclined to think that the Mariners will be able to pull this off. They'll be able to pull it off and go to the American League Conference Series.
I think if the Astros do get it, they're gonna have to get it in Game 5.
Yeah. If the Astros are going to win, it's going to have to be a Game 5 thing because the Mariners. Let's just say that the Mariners do not give up. They keep fighting, and that's why they're so intriguing to watch.
Yeah, and definitely, even taking any kind of logic out of the equation, just going on my feelings here, I absolutely want to see the Mariners make more and more progress.
Yeah.
Because no matter how far they go, they should be proud of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mariners definitely deserve a lot more respect after getting as far as they have this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a team that people would do well to start paying attention to from now on.
Yeah. Uh, I just feel good for Seattle, man, because Seattle, right? They haven't done much since like the early 2010s with the Seattle Seahawks in terms of sports. They've made the playoffs, sure, but they haven't done anything with it. They lost their franchise quarterback for their NFL team, the Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't doing so well. That's okay. You now have the Mariners. And I think the Mariners are going to be like a really good team for years to come. Like,
Yeah, we gotta have something for people in Washington State to root for.
yeah, I think the Mariners are going to be a really good team. They're going to be an exciting team to watch. They're going to be an exciting team to, root for, especially during this series against the Astros, who not a lot of people like because they're a bunch of fucking cheaters.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't help that they've got those their outfits are cool, but it makes it look like they're from a dystopian future.
Yeah.
And somehow that doesn't seem like the spirit of baseball. This doesn't seem within the spirit of baseball to me. They're like the baseball equivalent of stormtroopers,
Yeah.
except I guess they can aim when they hit balls.
Yeah. So yeah, no matter what happens between the Astros and the Mariners, it'll be an exciting series. It'll be a fun series. Unlike this next one we're going to talk about, which will be the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Yankees.
Yes. As I was saying earlier, the pressure is really on for the Guardians because they had a pretty hard fight against the Rays.
Yeah.
While the Guardians did manage to sweep in the end, neither game was an easy win.
No. I'm gonna
So
I'm gonna say
up
this.
against the Yankees,
Yeah.
the 2 seed team, going from the 6 seed team to the 2 seed team, I think the Guardians are in for a very tough ride, and I don't think that they will make it in the end.
Here's the thing about the Guardians, right? Their pitching is elite. Their defense is very good. It all depends on what happens for what happens with their bats. If their bats can, score a lot of points and get a lot of runs, I think the Guardians might actually take this series. But they haven't shown me that they're prone to do that very often. So I think overall the Yankees will take it, maybe in like 4 games.
And this is a big year for the Yankees too, isn't it? Because
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
because of
yeah.
Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah. They got Aaron Judge who now holds the AL home run record. They've got a bunch of other people batting that are really really good. You see, the Yankees are kind of like the opposite of the Guardians, to where the Guardians have elite pitching and a very solid defense, but not as good hitting.
But the Yankees, the hitting is what they're known for.
For the
This is a
Yankees,
team that scores high or not at all.
yeah, the Yankees are like elite when it comes to their hitting. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, all these guys, Josh Donaldson and whatnot, Anthony Rizzo, all these guys, doing as good as they are. And then the pitching is okay for the most part, and the defense, again, is okay. I want the Guardians to win, because then we could stick it to all the Yankee fans who are annoying and toxic. But
Then even if the Astros beat the Mariners, we'll at least have an interesting conference series.
yeah, but I don't think if the Guardians aren't gonna get their bats into shape, I don't think that they have a chance.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, because I don't think good defense. Because I don't think a good defense means all that much to the Yankees.
Not really, no.
So, well, the Guardians need to shore up their offense if they want to stand a chance.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves the last game of the division series, and that is the Padres and Dodgers, which is a matchup that NL West is very familiar with, intimately so.
Yeah.
Like this is a these two teams, their rivalry is all its time, isn't it?
Uh, not as old as the Giants and Dodgers, but it is a very good rivalry forming.
That must have been mistaken. In any case, a lot of heat building up between these teams, and it almost wouldn't be a postseason if they didn't fight.
Yeah. I think this is another one of those this will take 5 games to decide thing.
Absolutely. And I was saying in the last episode that I think the Padres can beat the Dodgers, while I don't think the Mets can. And well, we've got the Padres here today. I
Yeah.
think it'll definitely take 5 games, but I think the Padres will do it.
Mm-hmm. I think the Padres can do it. They can beat the Dodgers.
But I'm guessing, what do you think logically? Like, what do you think is the logical conclusion?
I hate saying this, but the logical solution is the Dodgers. I want the Padres to win. Because if they beat the Dodgers, the NLCS, no matter which of the other 2 teams make it, it'll be a fun series to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think the Padres can do it, and I think that
They can
I'm
do
willing
it.
to place my bet that they will. Now, take that with a grain of salt because of our of how our last set of predictions went.
Yeah. I just think the Dodgers are a more balanced team than
It
the
may be true,
Padres.
yeah.
Cuz like the Dodgers, their pitching is elite pretty much. They are missing a few guys, but it's still really really good. Their defense is really really good. Their bats are really really good. One of the best lineups in MLB history basically.
Yeah, and I think the Padres are definitely going to feel some pressure on that front.
Mhm. But the Padres defense is also really solid too. So like this is
That's the
as
one
well as
thing
the
that I
as
think
well as the
that's the one
Mariners
thing
and
that wins them
Astros.
games against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. As well as the Mariners and Astros, this is going to be a really fun series to watch, and I'm hoping the Padres can pull it out in the end, but honestly, the Dodgers. It's it's just they're that good of a team where it's like even when you root against them, even when you want them to lose, you just don't think that they can.
Yeah. Very very elite and very boring team they are.
Yeah.
In any case, I guess we'll see how right you are.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, like 8:30 tonight.
It'll be a fun series
Sorry,
though.
my bad. 9:30 tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a fun series though. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch some of these games.
Yeah, I think like well, we were wrong about a lot of our predictions. Some of those incorrect predictions have worked in our favor from a spectator perspective
Yeah.
because because definitely some of the ones we were wrong about have made for more interesting matchups.
Mhm. Yeah.
And especially the series between the Mariners and the Astros and the Padres and the Dodgers, there are definitely some matches that are worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. I I agree with you there. Uh that I think that is gonna wrap us up. I think, there's gonna be a lot of intriguing matchups in the NLDS. I think, you know, there's gonna be a lot of intriguing stuff that'll happen between now
Overall,
between now and next Monday and next Tuesday when the league championship series are about to start.
yeah, definitely. I overall the wild nature of the wild card series is definitely not going to stay in the wild card series. This postseason is set to be a ride from start to finish, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, it isn't just 3 game sweeps across the board for the better teams, and we just have like Yankees, Astros, and Dodgers, Braves, AL and NLCS. Hopefully, if we do get to that point, the other teams put up a fight and not make it easy for those teams to get to that point.
I think a lot of the teams on the lower end, though, I think I definitely think this of the Mariners and of the Padres. I think that they have the drive to push through against these larger teams.
Yeah, Yeah.
And the Phillies have shown a lot of promise uh, that I have to concede as the Cardinals fan is that they beat us fair and square. There was nothing foul about it. I mean, it was a pretty foul game to behold, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. 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 That'll that'll wrap us up here for this week. Uh Hopefully by the time next week happens, we're gonna have some very intriguing AL and NLCS matchups to talk about, because if we don't, I will be very, very sad.
God, yeah.
Uh,
And if you are actually watching this around the time it gets uploaded, then uh, have fun watching the Division series.
yeah, have fun with these games. I can't wait. I personally can't wait to be completely wrong about these games again. What about you?
I can. In any case, some of these I'm almost dreading, but I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And
And with
I
that,
guess I'll see the rest of you next week.
yeah. This has been SCS Baseball, and enjoy some of that baseball.